If you're cis, I want you to message the trans person in your life and ask them, what is one thing that you can do to lighten their load this week? Whether that be grocery shopping, folding laundry, doing dishes. Ask the trans people in your life if there's a task or something that you can offer them to help with the burden that we're carrying, because we're having to deal with all of this stuff right now while having to deal with all of the life stuff that we regularly deal with. And the regular life stuff that we deal with is life stuff, and then there's transphobia and living as a trans person in the world, and then there's what's going on right now, which is all of that combined. And then send that trans person $5 so they can get themselves a treat.
Okay, so y'all just heard that, and the only way I found out about this video is because Nicole's View, and shout out to Nicole, had posted it up on her timeline on Twitter. And man, when I tell you from the first word this person said, I paused it and I replied to that tweet, to this video, and said, this person sounds like the human version of Optimus Prime. I'm talking about their voice got a lot of bass to it, but they want us to sit here and expect us to be fooled by that and call them a quote unquote woman. This is what they're fighting for. I'm just saying, this is what they want. This is what they're trying to be out here. So y'all heard exactly what they said, but we're going to go back and break it down. I'm sure some of y'all are like, what in the hell did I just listen to for the last 54 seconds? So we're going to go back and do it like how we always do it when it comes to these breakdown videos. And you can already see right here at the top, it says, Dear Cis Allies. I already know it's a lot of people mad just at that part alone, especially a lot of women, especially ever since the whole Just Hilarious situation, going down, that phrasing or that word has literally pissed off a lot of women.
If you're cis, I want you to message the trans person in your life and ask them, what is one thing that you can do to lighten their load this week?
Why? This person, excuse me, literally said, if you are cis, meaning biologically born man or woman, because remember, this is what this person is saying, is not being applied to just women. They're saying this to both women and men, biologically born women and men, because they didn't say cis women. They just said if you are cis, which means they're talking about across the board. So this is a message to women and men who are biologically born with the XX chromosome for a woman and the XY chromosome for a man. I just wanted to put that out there just in case some of the men think that this didn't apply to them. This person is applying it to you as well. But they're saying, go out there and to ask the trans person in your life, what can you do to lighten their load this week, as if they're incapable of doing it themselves. As if they're handicapped, or as if you're a woman, you're their maid, or if you're a man, you're their butler.
Load this week, whether that be grocery shopping, folding laundry, doing dishes.
Folding laundry, doing dishes, excuse me? What is this person talking about? I know y'all looked at that video before I started to come back with the breakdown and was like, what in the hell are they talking about? And for what reason? Like, it makes no sense. You're asking them to do something, or you're asking biologically born men and women to do something for people who are clearly confused about themselves, about doing their laundry and their dishes, or something to lighten the load of their work week. Are you kidding me?
Ask the trans people in your life if there's a task or something that you can offer them to help with the burden that we're carrying.
What burden? I'm trying to figure out, can somebody help me understand what burden are they carrying? I need to know, because I'm confused. I'm as confused as the person that's talking right now on the screen. What burden do they need help with?
With all of this stuff right now.
Imagine being a Black American and all the burden and stuff we've had to deal with for the last 400 plus years. Now that's a burden. And everything that happened after post-chattel slavery, that's a burden. You going to get an operation to change yourself from one gender to another is not a burden. That's a choice that you made. That's a conscious decision that you made, in thousands on top of thousands of dollars that you spent to get a procedure or procedures to change you from one gender to another. That is not a burden. Whatever you decide to do with your body at that point is a personal choice. I and many of the people who watch me did not make the personal decision to be born black. It just happened. And I'm going to be honest, I wake up and thank God every day that is the case, because I wouldn't have it any other way. Unlike this individual who probably woke up every day for a good chunk of their life before they made the decision to quote unquote transition, hating the body that they were in. That's called self-hate. If there is a burden upon you, it's because it's a burden you put upon yourself.
Having to deal with all of the life stuff that we regularly deal with. And the regular life stuff that we deal with is life stuff. And then there's transphobia and living as a trans person in the world. And then there's what's going on right now, which is all of that combined.
That sounds like a personal problem to me. It sounds to me like you need to go see a therapist. Go seek some kind of mental help. That's really all it can boil down to. What could we possibly do? As biologically born men and women, what are we to do? Like, really, it's like this person is trying to make it seem like they are damsels and wannabe pseudo damsels in distress. You are not physically enabled to do all the stuff that they want us to do, such as washing dishes and getting their laundry and whatever else that they said. You can go and do that yourself. And it actually takes more than that than to being an ally. Imagine if all you know what? I wish for black people, black Americans in particular, that the only issue we had to deal with in this establishment is the inability to wash our clothes or wash our dishes. And all we had to do was make a call to have someone come over and do it for us. I wish that was the only burden and struggle that we as black Americans had to deal with. Because life wouldn't be that hard. Because that's whatever. If that was the only burden we had, we would have it good. But that's definitely not the case. We deal with so much more than the inability of having to wash dishes and wash our clothes. Usually that doesn't happen until one of two things. One, you get older, get up in age, and you can't be mobilized. You can't be mobile for yourself. Or two, you have a physical disability that enables you from actually being able to do that. Other than that, you should be able, that should be something you should be able to do. And that's about 90% of us. The two categories that I mentioned fall into like the small 10%. It may be even a smaller margin than that, but I'm going to widen it up and say 10%. And what this person is sitting up here saying or asking of biologically born men and women to do for them is absolutely asinine and absurd. And it doesn't even qualify as quote unquote making someone an ally. That's not even how allyship works, but okay. And then saying that they have to deal with being trans and transphobia. Like I said, imagine having to deal with systemic white supremacy and racism on a daily basis. That completely transcends whatever issues the people in Hall T have to deal with. Our struggle is far from yours. And I'm sure anybody else that has stuff going on in their life supersedes theirs as well. But see, they want to make everything about them. Now, peep this. And I didn't acknowledge this in the start of the breakdown. This is a PC individual right here. This is a biologically born PC man disguising and dressing themselves up as a woman, but they call themselves trans. I thought that was very interesting that their demands or what they wanted the quote unquote cis to do was some kind of labor. I'm surprised they didn't go all the way and start saying, can you cut our grass? Can you tend to the landscaping of our home? Can you come and clean our home? Can you wash the car? Feed the dogs, the cats? Go pick up the dry cleaning. I'm surprised they didn't go all the way with that. It like I said, it sounds like they want you to do maid and butler work. They can get all the way out of here with that BS. I don't give a damn how this one feels. And I'm sure it's probably some people who have some sense who are in Hall T that was looking at this person like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, really, what are you hitting on? It makes no sense. Let's finish out these last couple of seconds. $5. So now you're trying to hit people up for money. Man, it's some weirdos out here, and one of them is on this screen. They have more problems than a little bit. One of them is clearly they have identity issues. They don't know what the hell they are, because here they are pretending to be a woman while their voices is about as deep as, like I said in the beginning, as Optimus Prime. And then they trying to get people to do all these demands. This person definitely got some issues. They had a lot of nerve and a lot of boldness to come up here on camera and make this video. One could only hope that they're trolling, but something tells me that they are not. At this point, after hearing stuff such as women don't own womanhood, and they don't own periods and stuff like that, I can't really say that it's trolling at this point. I think a lot of them are dead ass serious. And I think this one is falling into the same category as well.